I'm not here as an implementer, but as a user in my beverage company. And that's how I started. Edilson sent me this photo from the conference 2011. And
This is you?
you see my business.
This is not
How
this one. Who is it?
Edilson.
Edilson.
It was during the conference 2011 in Krefeld, and we visited my company.
Okay.
And you see what we sell here.
Oh.
And I've heard that in modern times, this small and easy approach of speeches is not modern anymore. You have to use AI. So I asked an AI, how do you sell beer with iDempiere today? And I got a very similar picture. That is what we do today. And the rest I did not use AI for that because I just want to do a demo and not really a speech. So let me start. Just for the people that don't know me, we are a logistics company. We have like 8 trucks and sell beer to restaurants and bars in the Niederrhein area. And we have about 400 customers and about 800 products. And we have a narrow contact to the customer, so we have salesmen that tell them what to do, and we have goals. Yeah, we want to sell special products where we earn a lot of money and not the cheapest one, so the salesman needs information what to do, and they need tasks. Yeah? When I say them that just care for the customer, they go and do nothing and say hello and drink a beer with them, and they get friends, but we don't sell anything. You have to define goals for salesmen. I think that's similar in all other branches. We have also a narrow contact to manufacturers. So when a brewery has a new product or new beer or non-alcoholic or new kind of whatever, they work together with us to sell that. So the manufacturer contact is also an important thing to do. I did not really work together with Leida, so my sales board is different from hers, but we shared ideas and I just did it to work, and she's more about doing things the clean way. I will want to give you an overview of what we do. These are numbers. You can make photos because it is anonymized, but it's kind of my business. We count numbers in liters. That is hectoliter, so 100 times the liters. Because when someone sells water or beer, that's a very big difference in words, but it's important for us because a case of cheap water is the same problem to deliver than a case of wine, for example. So we needed these numbers in hectoliters for some sorts, and we need these numbers in euro for some other sorts. So I have a dashboard with two tabs. This is in euro, and that's quite interesting. What I use here is one level to find out where I want to look at. So these are my salesmen, and this is about customer groups, about product groups, and I really like this. At first I tried to use this, it has a name, I don't know, this multi circle thing, and it sounded like a crazy idea, but you will see that it's very useful. This is about manufacturers, kind of product, kind of beer, for example, light beer, dark beer, non-alcoholic, whatever. This is the brand, and this is the product. So here all our products are on the outer ring, but I can see we have one big manufacturer, that is the Bitburger Braugruppe, and they are very important for us, and I see that very fast here. And you will see when I filter the things, I can see very fast what is important for us. Yes, you see we sell a lot of barrels and a bit of lemonade. So you can see that we have a lot of restaurants and not retail stores because barrels go there. And you see that barrels are important for earning money in our business. But you see also that we can try to sell more bottles, for example. Yeah. Below you see the numbers, all the customers and all the products. Here is, you can see how many. That's obvious, I know the number of my customers, but when we filter later you will see that's important too. Here we have some time lines. I think I don't have to explain that. It allows to see if the turnover was more or less than last year, for example. And in the hectoliter, we also see have a pivot table. I think that's also clear for all of you what pivot means, so I can open it and, for example, close it and have different numbers or total numbers, whatever. Yeah. My idea was to show you some real-world thoughts so you understand why I like to work with that and why it's much better than non-BI tools. One example is, oh, I have no mouse. Okay, I got a sales meeting with a manufacturer, that is the Anheuser-Busch, and I can write it here. You see that there is a very fast access, much faster than in iDempiere, to get the numbers. And to talk about speed, what you see is working live on a database at home in my company, and you see it's quite fast. That's not local here. And you see I can have a qualified and good talk when the manufacturer salesman comes into my company, and I can tell him, okay, I sold 1,100 hectoliters of beer. Often they don't know, but I know, and they are impressed that my numbers are better than theirs. And I can see my most important customers, so I can talk to him about these customers and ask for help for things or for special conditions. And sometimes they have special offers, and I can say, okay, I need a special offer for these 3 customers because I lie and say they have some problems and I need support, but in real, when I get like 10%, I get the most money when I take it for the biggest customers. Another example is that the most focused brand of this company, you see now all the charts adapted, and you see that I sell a lot of alt beer, and not so much of, that is dark beer in Germany, and not so much Pils. And the company focuses on Pils, on light beer. And I can see that very fast, and I can talk to them how to support sales of Pils and to get money or to get discounts or anything. Yeah? And that is very interesting because I also see, for example, Weizenbier, or I see non-alcoholic Weizenbier, and I see that about, what would you say, a third or nearly half is non-alcoholic Weizenbier. So I can talk to him and say, we are very well selling non-alcoholic Weizen, what can I get for that, or can I have more help? And that's very worthwhil. And when he says, oh, I didn't know you sell non-alcoholic Weizenbier, I can click here. I can click here. No. I can click here. And when I click here, it will add a new filter. You have the filters here at left. And you see only this one single product, and you see all customers that take the non-alcoholic beer. So I can talk about the most important customers, but I can also talk about the last in the row and think how we can sell more here. And I know we have 26 customers, and yeah, that's also interesting about numbers. And that's very fast. Before Superset, I could not, it was like 2 hours to prepare a speech with a salesman of manufacturers, and now I can do it in this very moment, and very often I get ideas in the talk with a salesman. So there is only one chance to ask them for a budget, for action, or for a discount. Yeah. Another idea, for example, that we already did is when they were so impressed was that I told you that we have iDempiere here, and I can filter for that. You have to know that the breweries also have a salesman and visit the customers. And I can tell the salesman, huh?
Upper.
What's happening? Right, okay. I wanted to say I need just some seconds, but now I needed some seconds more. And I see we have 87 customers drinking or ordering iDempiere, but we have only, it's very fast to say, okay, what is about Pils? And Pils is the main focus of Anheuser-Busch InBev. So he sits there and wants to sell Pils and sell Pils. And I can tell him, okay, you have access to 87 alt customers, but we have only 14 Pils customers. Why don't you visit them and sell Pils? That's your task. So when he complains that we don't sell enough Pils, I can tell him, that's your fault. You have 87 addresses, walk there and sell. I have something different. For example, when I stop. Something different is when we, for example, see the iDempiere. And I scroll down to the timelines, I can see that we sell less iDempiere than last year. So no, that's here. But I don't care. I can see that we sell less beer than last year. So the manufacturer might ask, why don't you sell so much beer? When I'm well prepared, I can quite fast have a look here and see, for example, Spatenhell, and I have another product, and when he tries to talk about iDempiere, oh, what's that? That's strange. But when he wants to talk about iDempiere, I can tell him I need 2 seconds to know that I can talk about Spaten, and I can say, oh, we cared for Spaten and we did it so well, and please say thanks to me and give me a new budget. Yeah, everything is about taking budgets from manufacturers. Yeah, something very different is not manufacturer meetings, but our own salesmen. I have some more examples here. So I am in a meeting, no. Ah, yeah. So I'm in a meeting with Mr. Wintersieg, that's my salesman. And I can see his turnovers and I can see how he behaved during time. You see in the lower part, he behaves very well over the years, but yeah, that's one thing. And I can talk to him about the most important customers here, or we can, yeah, it's a very fast search here. Yeah, I really like that it's much easier to use than iDempiere. Yeah, I can, for example, see how do you behave in selling wine. You know, you see wine is not very important for us, but we want to change that. So I can talk about wine and why things go bad or good at wine and which kind of wines. And here I may see, for example, here which sorts of wine that is important for wine, because every wine is, wines are very different, and that's also interesting to talk about. Yeah, okay, with that.
Some technical questions, maybe?
Technical question, yeah. Okay. Do you have a technical question?
The users are different system, yes? So we haven't any integration between. So if my user wants to check. Okay, yes. Yes, you have right.
You need mine?
No, you have. The question is always, what about the users? If I have 30 users in the system, how can I share them, or it's different database, or it's used by SSO?
Different users.
Let's say you have a CEO and he has access to the system, but also want access here.
Yeah.
Maybe just he want, you know? I know this is typical question.
Yeah, we are thinking about that. Carlos is thinking about that. That's not important in my company, but yeah, there is like a special layer in Superset that allows to filter all data. So you can give an access password for Mr. Wintersieg, and he can see only his own customers, for example. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Another idea is to have different database access and do this in Postgres. Superset has a concept of data sets, and the data set is a query, a table, and you can have different tables and combine the charts with another data set for another one, or you can possibly use dynamic queries in Postgres based on the Postgres user, but that's not so easy to do here.
Okay. I think Norbert is talking about you are talking about the multi-tenant, yeah? Because your problem is multi-tenant.
Multi-tenant.
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions. Maybe how to put into the context of the iDempiere if we are trying to do the business commercial way. Yes, first of all, we have a SaaS system as software service, but secondly, the users today, again UX, wants to log in the same system, or just one click move to different and drill into the data back. So if we can find some concept between, then would be interesting to talk very shortly about it. Maybe we can continue workshop, exactly. Just
The thing is that
Superset calls it row-level security that allows to filter things based on the superset user.
exactly. Thomas doesn't have that need because he is single tenant. But the queries that Lyda prepared, for example, all the queries share and it's there written somewhere there. All queries have the AD client ID column. Every query that is written there is AD client ID. So it's to set up a row level security, saying AD client ID equals tenant ID, and assigning that row level security to the role of the tenant, and it just works. Very simple.
What I also like is that the superset is stateless. That means when I talk to Mr. Wintersieg and we want to talk about his most important customer, I can copy the URL and do a second window, and I got the very exact. And now I take one window and just choose one customer. So I see that is this customer, and it's easy to move. To move here. And this is the average customer. Or I can even say Kundengruppe, for example. This customer is this Kundengruppe, so I can filter here. So the Kundengruppe means customer group. Sorry to talk German. So I know that this customer takes a lot of Fassbier, for example, but not so many lemonade. And I can see the difference here. So this customer has 4 colors, but there are more. So I can ask, why don't you buy juice, for example? Yeah, and that's something I do very often to have several tabs open and compare them. You can have comparing charts, but we like it this way because you can go further and click more and click here and have more ideas. I have some more examples, but I think you see how we work with that. And what it really changed is that we can answer our questions very fast. That's what I wanted to tell you when I prepared that 2 weeks ago. But since then I realized the real important thing is that we get to questions that we didn't have before. So we see things, and we see there is one part missing or one color missing, and we ask and ask and ask. And in our sales meetings, we are 3 or 4 persons, and everyone keeps asking things and saying, oh, you can do that, and you can sell that, and why, for example, why does he have beer but not from a brand, from Beck's, for example, and why don't he have non-alcoholic Beck's? Yeah, and that are ideas we have, and before, when we had these ideas, we took a note to the sales, the internal sales team, and they prepared the numbers, and we talked about that in the next meeting, or they sent it as email. And when you send an email to our salesmen, they just forget it, they do nothing. And when you do it in the next meeting, it takes 1 week or 2 weeks, and then you don't need that information anymore. And this is very fast, and it creates answers very fast, and it creates a lot of questions, and then the answers. And I thought about AI a lot in the last weeks, and I think AI may answer a lot of questions, but the real advantage of a good tool is to create the questions. Yeah.
Thomas, can I ask a question?
People have another question also.
I'm over time, so I will tell you some small thing more. What we did was that we created views for that. That's mainly only one view for the sales. that is what LiDAR said, and we use this view for several other things. So we use the very same view in as an LibreOffice base, so you can extract the numbers. And my sales, that is for my salesmen. They are stupid and don't have a clue about computers. But my office staff likes to get the real data. Yeah, and you can one thing in Superset is very nice. We created this list by a creative process. Yeah, and I can ask for the query and fix it somewhere, but I can also see it as a table and see the numbers here, and I can, for example, copy that and copy it to Excel or to LibreOffice, and yeah, we can also have use a query in LibreOffice base. I don't know if you know the base, that is like an interface to databases to copy the things directly. And my staff really loves it. In advance, I tried to tell them how to use SQL to filter things, or they use LibreOffice to filter things. But here, it's very intuitive to do that, and that helped us a lot. And we have this special views. That's what LiDAR is working on at the end, and we love it. But you need to figure out what you need from these views and how to work. And I really like to share efforts to create a common interface. I say it's an interface like a set of views that show the data in a way that you can use here. Yeah. For example, I didn't show you that I connected when you click here. You can click here. Okay. That works also. So I am in this customer, and the opposite way works also. So I have a tight connection between both things, and that helps us a lot. And we have also like a link to open LibreOffice with the right data for some cases. Yeah, integration is important, or people will not use it.
Okay, we have thanks. We have two questions. Marco,
One question is technical, and there is a language for some specific complex queries, like sum of the last quarter inside, because you know the name I made before Power BI has a powerful power tools that is DX, and is a very powerful language. You can do everything like other, like question like for Norbert, or you know that. Just if you know it's easy to set up, but there is a language you can customize something, or just
no, it uses SQL everywhere, and yeah, when you have
you can create a function like sum last quarter of top business partner of, like a function inside.
You mean that the Power BI has the own query language, but it's using SQL, normal SQL.
yeah.
But
The base
Based on the query,
the
you
base
can
are
create
data sets, yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a quite easy data set, but this is
Like you have two query and then you compare,
no, that was
so
wrong.
you have an additional,
That was wrong.
just a question.
So this is a data set. In this case, it's quite easy because I use this.
Calculated columns.
Yeah, but you can write any SQL you want. And so this is like a big table, and I don't know what you exactly want, but when you use a chart, you want to filter somehow, yeah, or to do more. For example, for this chart, you here set the data, you say which columns I want, and you have like matrix. I don't know if that's what you want. And the matrix can also be SQL. That is the sum.
It's a mix.
Very easy, but yeah, you can use create SQL matrix, and you can filter here. I think you can also have complex filters in SQL. What I do is that when I think I may filter things, I use a SQL code in the view to have a column that allows easy filtering. Yeah, and here you can set filters, so you can say that this chart always shows numbers of this year. And when I use all the filter capabilities, it stays as it is. Yeah, that is everything is configurable. So when you, for example, here, I can't see it. Yeah, well, no. What I want to show is, it does not show. I'm not sure how it works because I can't see that from here. Yeah, but you can just to say you have seen when I click here, it affects all other things, and you can configure that. You can configure that I don't want to move it to here. Yeah, this filter works here and there. And in my opinion, all filters should be in the query, but I don't know if you use the configurable filters. Well, it's quite easy to add new filters if you like.
The last question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have actually two questions. So one is Superset allows us to access dashboards without login? So if I just want to,
Yes.
yeah, is it?
Yes, it allows.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the
yes,
second
it
question is, when you schedule a report, okay, for a particular time, say a morning report, okay, what happened yesterday? If you schedule a report, okay, you can schedule a report inside Superset, right? And it
Yeah.
automatically sends an email.
Yeah.
So if you are scheduling a dashboard, so if dashboard contains multiple reports, okay, does it attach as a single PDF, or how does it embed inside an email? How does it email you? Because if there are multiple charts, okay, one dashboard has 5-6 charts. So when you receive an email, is it multiple PDFs or one embedded PDF of all the charts?
Yeah, you can manage. This is the dashboard. So the philosophy is that you have a dashboard. A dashboard combines charts,
Yeah.
and you can use charts in several dashboards. So when you say you have a daily report and don't want all this information, you may do a second dashboard for reporting. And in this dashboard, I can just set up here an email report, or and the email report contains a PDF. I think you can configure if it is an image or a PDF. But when I say export to PDF, it should export.
So it actually
But it does
creates one image of one dashboard.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think it is data.
So that's a PDF, and you get that as an attachment to your email.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. One problem is you don't see any customers here because it's like a screenshot.
That's no problem. That's something which we have seen. So what we have done, we have made some changes to the Superset so that it extracts single chart as a PDF, okay, and attaches. So that's something which is, but that's a that's a core change to the Superset.
Okay. Please contribute to the project, so I will.
Okay, I will contribute to the Superset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we do quite often is to extract this kind of data here. Yeah, like I said, view as a table, or we create queries and use them in LibreOffice.
Thank you.
Ready?
One problem when we talk about if we really need where it is? Yeah. If we really need
The time is quite high.
the time, okay.
It's over the time, the month.
Sorry. Just to one important argument. This is a list I exported using iDempiere, nothing with Superset. But my employees or my office staff is really annoyed by these fields because they don't want the number and the underscore. And this is name 1 and name 2, and name 2 does not exist, so it says -1. And you cannot use that in some circumstances. Yeah? And the view can do it in a nice way. I understand that, and it has reasons that it is like it is, but the view allows to do it in a user-friendly or customer-friendly way. That's why the CSV export or the Excel export from iDempiere is not perfect. And I don't think it has to be perfect. That's another reason here. Yeah, okay.
I want to make one addition. Is like we have already done a plugin which can render any BI output on inside iDempiere. So it's simple HTML plugin. So you can actually render a public URL inside iDempiere. So you can create a different dashboard in Superset, and for each Superset dashboard you can create your dashboards.
Yeah, I think I like Superset, but he will talk about Pentaro, and in former times I used Metabase, but I think what we can do together and share, and where I invite you, is to think about the data and the views, to have a common approach for that. That allows us to share things. Yeah, my dream is to have a BI tool in the demo server for Garden World to tell everyone that we can do that and to make it more nice and more sexy for new people.
How often do you replicate the database from iDempiere into your Superset server?
Daily. That's a materialized view, and I refresh it daily at 5 o'clock.
Okay. But it's not real time, but it's...
It can be real time. It's not so bad, but then you...
you need a read replica then, right?
Not
If you
that,
want.
but there is a replication, continuous.
Oh, it's a read replica.
Yeah, read
Ah, okay,
replica,
okay.
but Thomas has a materialized views,
Oh, okay.
and those are calculated.
Yeah. We use, I can use that on the production server, but using the replication is a bit better. But the materialized view is very important.
So our experience with materialized view is like it is very it's degrade the performance of